Just got the fire started in my 55-gallon barrel. Gonna burn this lining out. It's a white lining. It's food grade. Had something called pink guava puree from Ecuador. Here she is. So about once I get it all burned out, probably take it down to the sandblasting shop and have them sandblast the inside out. There's a lid. I'll put it on once all this burns down. Found quite a few limbs there in the yard, along with some plywood and other scraps I had from building a platform bed over the weekend. So as you can see, she's getting going, so we'll check back later. As you can see, the paint on the outside is getting burned off pretty good. See the label burning there. Hopefully this should clean up real good. I don't know if you can see on the inside, but the liner is getting burned out pretty good. So, oh, there we go. A little paint and label fire there. This is going to be good. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes, 20-30 minutes, something like that. As you can see, the fire's burned down, and as the fire burns down, the paint's getting burned off as it burns down, which is excellent. This paint's just really coming off, and I don't know. We'll see when we get the fire all the way burnt down whether I'm going to take a wire brush to it or take it to sandblasters. If it keeps on like this, I may just take a wire brush to it and be done with it. Just depends on how the inside, how hard it is to clean. So we'll see, and I'm fixing to put the lid on right now, so it can be getting hot and burning the lining off. So anyway, this is where we're at, about the 30-minute mark. Check back with you later. Okay, here we are. About 40 minutes after we started the fire. You can see it's burnt down pretty good. Getting burned down there. You can see where all the paint is already fell off on the outside. See where the liner, if you look real close on that other side of that inside of that barrel, where the liner's peeling off, burning off. So got high hopes for this. It's looking good, looking good. I'm not sure I'll even need to have it sandblasted, but probably will, but we'll see. But this is where we're at. It just takes a little while to get this burned down. You want as much wood in there as you can. You ain't going to hurt it. So we'll check back later. Okay, it's been about 50 minutes now. You can see we're burnt down really good. This paint's coming off really well. Yes, sir. Now here's the lid. Now I put it on a while ago, and I'll tell you what happened. This is a caution. Whew, gotta get out of the smoke. I put it on a while ago, and here's what's going to happen when you put it on. When you put it on, I guess you need to see this. When you put it on, you start closing it, and you get down to about a few inches. Guess where all that heat's going to come? Yeah, all that heat's going to come out that little opening as you're closing it. In a split second, you're going to get your hand burned. I got a pretty good burn here on my hand. So, lesson learned. I knew that if I'd thought about it. But use gloves. I use welding gloves a lot of times when I'm working around this stuff. So, use gloves. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, put it over in the fire pit. Just turn it up just like that, build a fire on top of it. And I've got some other scrap wood in the back of my pickup from a construction project, handyman project I was doing, some remodeling. And so I'm just going to build a fire on top of that over in my pit and burn it that way, and I'll just take it down. And it's getting down here. I think you get the idea. I don't think you need any more videos to once this burns down, and I ain't no hurry, probably come back this afternoon sometime and empty the ashes out, maybe take a wire brush to it just a little bit, but probably take it down tomorrow to the sandblasters and have it sandblasted, and make me a trip this afternoon to Lowe's. So I'll keep you updated on that. So stay tuned. Quick side here. I'll probably build another one at some point, and here's two things I would do different. I would went ahead and drilled my 1-inch holes in the bottom before I started a fire. This would allow the fire to get I think a lot hotter, burn that bottom a lot better. And I also would have put it up on some of the flat concrete blocks, so because that ground acts as a heat sink, and it's taking a little bit longer here on the bottom. It'll get there, but if it was set up and if it had air holes in the bottom, it would get a lot hotter a lot quicker. So anyway, that's what I would do different right now. So and that way I could also put my lid on. You put the lid on here. Even earlier when I did get it on there after getting burnt, I had about a 4-inch opening so I wouldn't smother the fire, but it went ahead and was smothering it anyway. So if you could have had held this lid open 4 inches with holes in the bottom, you could have really concentrated the heat. So anyway, that's what I would do different. So over and out. Okay, Donald from Blue Collar DIY here. This is probably the last little video on burning the big drum smoker out. As you can see, she's pretty much all burnt. She's looking good down there. I have a dead spot in the grass, but well, fall and winter's just around the corner, so it'll be dead anyway. So you can see it's done a pretty good job, and the rest of this is going to burn. That's nothing but bare metal out there in a lot of places, and pretty good right there. So anyway, I read about a lot of guys saying this is a real pain. This part of it is just a pain. They go out and they buy the new unlined barrels for, you know, 130, 150, 200 bucks. I don't know. I just don't see it as a pain. Of course, I'm a DIYer. I'd rather do something myself than go buy new anything. I mean, I guess I'm cheap that way, but I just I like building things and doing things myself. So anyway, time to run to Lowe's, get some parts, maybe the hardware store. I tend to shop local hardware store more than Lowe's because amazingly, a little podunk hardware store has better prices on a lot of the bolts and hardware than Lowe's. So anyway, stay tuned for the cleaning up and the installing the hardware and getting this thing transformed into a mean mama jama smoker. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Donald out. Okay, so a couple hours went by and I've poured the coal ashes out, and this is pretty nasty. I was going to take it down to the sandblasting place, and it was really nasty, and I had a bright idea to use my power washer, wash the outside off, and a lot of that crud is coming off. So this is only like a 1600 psi power washer. You see, getting it pretty clean. So I don't know, we'll see if it needs a trip to the, you can see all that. We'll see if it needs a trip to the sandblaster after I get it done. But right now, I'm pretty happy with, this is a turbo tip on this, and this is just like a little old $80 1600 psi power washer I use. I find it's not too powerful that it starts damaging stuff. So, but you can see cleaning the old burn off paint really good. Well, anyway, I'll get this washed up and then we'll decide if we need to go to the sandblaster tomorrow. Donald out. I stopped at Harbor Freight today and got a few items to clean out the barrel instead of taking it and having it sandblasted. The fire did a pretty good job cleaning it up. Here's a couple things I got. I got the step bits. I think they're 20. A mask. New wire brush. Ended up not needing that because I used old grill brush and it cleaned up the inside pretty good. And what it didn't get, that little abrasive wheel right there has been taking care of it. So if you don't have these things, you might want to pick them up before you clean up the barrel after you burn it out. Okay, it's day 2, and after I washed it out yesterday, power washed it, I let it dry and had things to do this morning, so I'm finally getting back to it again. And I've taken a little wire brush, a little barbecue brush, and the fire cleaned it up really well, as you can see. And there is some couple of areas that didn't get burned off real well, like this area down here, this black area you see. I'm going to probably, when I get the basket made, set the fire and finish burning that off. But other than that, you can see it's looked real well. And a couple little black areas. So I got to stop today and got this abrasive pad from Harbor Freight, and it'll take care of it pretty quick. So I just saved myself 30 bucks or so by not having it sandblasted. And man, this wire brush and this little abrasive wheel, it's done a number. And so yeah, I'll be ready to start putting it together soon. So stay tuned. I'll let you see when we get it taken care of. Here's the outside of it. You see it's starting to rust a little bit. Got all the paint and stuff off of it. It's looking good. I'll go over it with some high temp black paint when I get all the holes drilled. So Donald out. Okay, man, last segment we were cleaning this up, and it is cleaned up real well in about 15 minutes. I showed you a big dark spot. I said I was going to have to build a fire, and probably on the with a cage, and finish burning it out. Don't have to do that no more. That little abrasive wheel really took care of it. That made short work of it all. And so now what I'm going to do, and I would like to heat this up, and I'll probably do it even after the first fire I have in here with the charcoal. But right now, to keep it from rusting, because all that bare metal is going to rust pretty easy, I'm going to just spray it down with a little ham cooking spray. That's all it takes. This is what I'll season it with also. I know some of you are going to go, oh my gosh, he's using a cooking spray. Oh, it's the end of the world. No, it's not. I've used it. I'm sure y'all ate a lot worse stuff, so just chill. This will keep it from rusting, and it will season it as well. I've used this on my cast iron for the last 30 years, and ain't a thing wrong with it. So now we don't have to worry about the inside rusting while we work on it, because it'll probably be tomorrow or maybe even the next day before I get to start putting the hardware on. So anyway, there you have it. This will be good. It's always best if you could start a fire or heat it up. I don't have my weed burner here, or I would heat it up and then spray this on. But like I said, after I get the cage built, get a fire in it, get it heated up, I'll do it again. So anyway, stay tuned.